It's here. It's here. Oh, it's here. It's here. It's here. After like years of waiting, it's here. Jesus is King tomorrow. Hey everyone. X Factor here, and we are reviewing James Arthur. Yeah. Just a week of me being gone because I hate you and everything you love. Cause fuck you. Character. James Arthur, new album. James Arthur, do people know who he is? Do people know who he is? I have no idea, but he is back with a brand new album, and it's been a while since we last heard from him, honestly. I think you might remember him winning, like, the 9th season of the British talent show X Factor, and with his beautiful cover of Chantel's Impossible. Featured soaring vocals, real emotions. Following that, he gave us the 2013 self-titled album, which, I mean, it had standout songs. I won't deny that. But, nowadays, there's not really a reason for coming back to that album. I mean, it had standouts such as You're Nobody Until Somebody Loves You, or Smoke Clouds, but like, there's no feeling. There's no feeling of coming back to that album. And I kind of feel the same way about his last album, Back from the Edge, even though it's a way better album than the last one, okay? It's so much better. I mean, it featured the single Say You Won't Let Go. I mean, everybody knows that song. It's a cute little love song with sparkling guitars. And, I mean, it kind of proved I was not a one-hit wonder with Impossible, but at the same time, it kind of didn't. Like, I think that's the only reason people know James, because of that. Which is a shame, because Back from the Edge feature songs like the title track, I Am, Safe Inside, Phoenix, Sermon, and Coming Home for Summer. And it's been 3 years since that project came out. And since then, James has kind of been silent. I mean, 2017, he released Naked. It was satisfying, but didn't really last long. Let me get comfortable, Jesus Christ. And then he put out, like, that 2-EP song. The 2-song EP. Featuring You Deserve Better and At My Weakest. 2 really great tracks, honestly, which I'm surprised didn't end up on the album. It was also featured on that Marshmallow track and the Greatest Showman soundtrack. But, I don't know. He was kind of slow. And, like, he wasn't as willing to put out this album, which kind of worried me. And for that reason, I just took a break from him. And I had no idea that this album released like a week ago from me recording this. I remember at the time I was just listening to like The Smiths and Kanye. New album drops today, actually. What's the date? It's today. Yeah, it dropped like a few hours ago. Shit. So, on this album, You, from James Arthur. I had no idea what to expect. I mean, I didn't really have that high expectations, but it's a nice record. That's all I can say. We have You, relatively strong opener, featuring Travis Barker of Blink-182, and yeah, that Travis Barker, which is evident in like the solid, loud drumming and the piano playing. But the song is basically about empowerment and overcoming obstacles. And James, I had no idea that he would be doing this, but he does rapping on the bridge, and it actually goes pretty well, honestly. But what really holds me back from enjoying the song is that the chorus is kind of understated and kind of one-dimensional, just like lyrics about spreading your wings and flying, or refusing to lose individuality. It's kind of understated, and I also think that as a tone setter, it's kind of a misleading, since it feels so much different from any other track, honestly. Even like fucking Treehouse, honestly. We transitioned to Finally Feel Good. I have like some twangy, kind of glitchy guitars that are dreary and slightly uncomfortable to listen to. But it does have a chill bass groove. The song is just about feeling good, and I do feel good, honestly. It's about like overcoming personal struggles and reflecting upon those struggles. Through the crying, you finally feel good. And it's one of the many songs that I can't help but smile to. And I just think it's undeniably cute, honestly. Marine Parade has like a marching quality to it, unsurprisingly, given the title. It's talking about broken hearts and wishing for someone's company or quirks rap with some lyrics that are just undeniably cute, like, and with you from the Albion made Eastern Paradise to taste so much better than, yeah, and now I'm rowing out the Alexandra, falling into the Emmanuel. Now you're there praying for me. It's, God, that's just cute, honestly. It's adorable. It's adorable. If we can't get through this, we can get through anything. God damn it. I butchered that. But this is like the first bad song. I did not like this at all. The pre-chorus of let's dance, let's grind, let's smoke, let's fuck. That's exactly the delivery. It's kind of stupid, honestly. And the chorus is very understated and does not provoke much emotion. Provided with a lackluster instrumental. Not good. But Cars Outside, I mean, I kind of get like... From Cars Outside, the next track, I kind of get like a country folk vibe from this. It's very soft. It's very gentle. I don't have as much to say about the song. I just find it to be one of the more enjoyable tracks, which is a consistent theme for me. Like, there are a lot of tracks on this album. 17 tracks. It's kind of bloated, honestly. And a lot of those songs are just like... I mean, they're nothing special, or... They are special, but they're not worth as talking about as much than other tracks. Yeah, it's a consistent theme. Quite Miss Home, piano ballad. It's just about missing someone. Kind of a repeat of Marine Parade. Except I think there's more emotion going through the song, honestly. However, I do think this is one of those moments on the record where James can be doing what I call mumble singing. And it happens a lot on the record. Mumble singing, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. His delivery can be off sometimes, but I do think with Quite Miss Home it is one of the most not enjoyable, but more emotionally solid and grounded tracks on this album. Treehouse, next track, awful. I did not like this. I did not like the song one bit, not one bit. It is my least favorite, especially because of Shoddy Horrors and this verse. He kind of sounds like a worse version of Slow Tie. Great album, by the way. Slow Tie, nothing great about Britain. Listen to it. But, like, the hook on this is just not good. The awful instrumental, actually. Just, like, the poppy kind of, like, no. James's delivery on this track is particularly bad. It feels like every contemporary pop song that tries to appeal to as many people as possible. Nobody's gonna skip it because it's just such background music, or it's just vibe music. However, Ty Dolla $ign's hook on this. It's great. I love that man. I honestly would have preferred to just hear him throughout the entire song, honestly. It just fits him way more than James or Shoddy on this song. What else? Unconditionally? The feature, I think, on this track was unnecessary because it's just on the pre-chorus or chorus. It doesn't matter. But I do think it's kind of... like Adam Lazara is not necessary on this track whatsoever, at all. But I mean, I think the song itself is great. A song about unconditional love, no matter your flaws, always being by someone. And I also love it because it's just James and his guitar singing his little English heart out. Adam Lazara, go away, you're not needed on this track. Homicide Love is another great song, honestly. When I see it as like a follow-up to Unconditionally, like live or die for love, being confused in the rough patches of this relationship James is in, and being so emotionally confused but still dedicated to it. It's actually kind of heartbreaking, actually. Breathe is like a little boring track. Same thing with like the track Sad Eyes. They're kind of boring, but they're not worth talking about at all. They're not really as special. But I will say the ending. I did like the ending a lot because he's just rambling out his heart, and at the very end he says he can finally breathe. Like, I'm not gonna say that's genius because it's not, but like, it's cute. It's adorable. Maybe the next song breaks into like a rock moment in the chorus, which is honestly pretty great, honestly. It talks about faded love and destiny, and at this point, I think themes have been repeating way too much for me to be like, okay, when is something new gonna come around? Same thing with Fall, honestly. Slow song, gentle, has a lot of heart, talking about James's struggles as a person, and just wanting to fall down and rest. It talks about alcohol addiction and things like being lost in translation. Honestly, it's pretty good. Falling Like the Stars, a single off of this album, and it sounds like something I would hear in like the early 2010s, honestly. It sounds a little outdated, but I think it's one of the most beautiful tracks on the album, with soaring strings and a heartfelt vocal performance. Empty Space, I mean, it has like a punkish feel, honestly, but to me, I think it's kind of a selfish song, honestly, because he knows, like, him and this other person are not meant to be, but he still wants her. It's like, Naked though. Naked though. Kind of the same theme as like Empty Space, but I prefer this over it. I mean, it's just much more emotionally compelling. And the album ends off with like kind of a weak end. But I mean, it's not like Coming Home for Summer. And I don't think it needs to be. But like, In some respects, I would have voiced for a stronger ending. And that's it, honestly. While this album suffers from repetitive themes, and just like pop song tropes, that does not stop me from believing that there are more hits than misses. I can see that this album will not be for everybody, maybe because of how basic it is, or the repetitiveness of it, or maybe how bloated it is, how bloated it is, which is a major theme for me. But I mean, I found this to be lovely and pleasing. I do think James is going to make another album. I think he should focus on much more personal topics and not just his girl problems most of the time. He just have a very consistent sound and maybe focus a little more on the song layout. Just not verse, chorus, the same generic shit. Because some of these songs sound like they could have been made in like the early 2010s. But honestly, I enjoyed my time with it. I'm feeling a 7 out of 10 on this thing. And that's all I have to say. I am going to listen to Jesus is King now. Because I want to listen to that album right now. So, bye.